Hey y'all, so today we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. Adding and subtracting polynomials is just a really fancy way of combining like terms. Now, if we remember from last week, a polynomial is just a function with multiple terms. Okay, so nothing crazy, multiple terms. Just any function that's got more than one term, so more than just, 2 or x or whatever, it's got multiple terms. So when we are adding or subtracting polynomials, the first thing we want to do, the first thing we always want to worry about, like looking at our example here, we have these parentheses. Anytime we have parentheses, remember our PEMDAS, we got to worry about those parentheses first. So the first step is we're going to distribute any number in front of the parentheses. So when we have just the parentheses, there's technically a number in there that we don't write. It's just 1. And if we're distributing positive 1 to everything, so we're multiplying everything by positive 1, it's going to stay exactly the same, right? So when we're adding polynomials and all we have in front is a positive 1, nothing's actually going to change. So really, it's kind of like we're just dropping the parentheses. And then we can just move straight on from there. Okay. Now our second step after we drop our parentheses is we want to combine any like terms. So as we always do, we want to start in the front. So I have 4x squared. What other term is like 4x squared? 2x squared. So positive 4x squared plus 2x squared is equal to 6x squared. All right, then our next term is this negative 4x. Remember, we want to include the negative or the positive with each number. So negative 4x, what else is like negative 4x? Positive 2x. So negative 4 plus 2, they are different signs, which means we are going to subtract them. So 4 minus 2 is 2, and then the negative number is bigger, so that gives us negative 2x. Then last but not least, we got this positive 7 and positive 11 as our last set of terms. And they are both positive, so we're just going to add them. So 7 plus 11 is equal to 18. Now as we go across, we check, is every single term unique? So there's nothing else like it. There is. We only have one x squared term, one x term, and one just number term. So this is our final answer. All right, so that's adding. When we subtract, subtraction is just a little bit harder because while we still just have a positive 1 in front of our first set of parentheses, now we have a negative 1. And if I distribute a negative 1 to everything on the inside, then that's going to change the sign of everything on the inside. So the front stays the same, 3x squared plus 6x minus 4, but my back equation becomes negative 6x squared, negative 8x, and negative 20, because I distributed a negative to everything on the inside. So now, once I've distributed, then I'm going to combine my like terms just like last time. So 3x squared and negative 6x squared. So positive 3, negative 6, different signs, so we subtract. So 6 minus 3 is 3, and the negative is bigger, so it is negative 3x squared. And we keep on going, so our next one is positive 6x and negative 8x. Once again, the signs are different, so positive 6 and negative 8. We're going to subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. Negative is bigger, so it is negative 2x. Then last but not least, -4 and -20. This time, signs are the same, so we add and keep the sign the same. So 4 plus 20 is 24, which makes it -24. And we have one unique term for everything, so that is our final answer. All right, let's look at example 3. So we got a couple things going on here. We don't have full quadratic equations, which is fine. We don't have to have full quadratic equations. Okay, once again, it's subtraction. So my first set of parentheses is going to stay exactly the same with everything inside. My second set of parentheses, I'm going to switch the sign. So this becomes 8x squared plus 7. The -1 times -2x squared is positive 2x squared. -1 times positive 2x is -2x. Now, do we have any like terms? We only actually have one set of like terms, positive 8x squared and positive 2x squared. So I'm going to combine those. So we get, 8 plus 2, both positive. So add them together, keep the sign the same, 10x squared. Then 7 stays the same, and 2x stays the same. So minus 2x and plus 7, just like so. So sometimes we have even fewer terms, and it makes this really, really simple. All right, last but not least, we have example 4. Now, example 4 is not necessarily more difficult. It's just got some fractions and some decimals, so the adding and subtracting might be a little harder. Okay? But just like before, we got ones in front of both of these parentheses. This time it's addition, so I don't have to worry about my signs changing. So really, we can just drop those parentheses. So this becomes 1/5 x squared plus 3.5x plus 9/4 plus 7/5 x squared minus 0.5x plus 9.75. Okay, so now I can start looking for some like terms. So I have 1/5 x squared and 7/5 x squared. Those are both positive. So I'm going to add them together. 1/5 plus 7/5 is 8/5. So we have 8/5 x squared. Then moving on along, we have positive 3.5x and negative 0.5x. Those are different signs. So 3.5 minus 0.5 would just be 3. And then because the positive one is bigger, it's going to be positive. So positive 3x. And then last but not least, we have this positive 9/4 and positive 9.75. Now, I have a fraction and decimal. That doesn't help me much. If you have a calculator, you can add in a calculator. That will make your life a little easier. But we can also think of this 9/4 as 2.25 because 4/4 is 1, 8/4 is 2. So 9/4 is just 1 extra fourth than 2. So 0.25, which is where we get the 2.25. So 2.25 plus 9.75, that equals 12. So we get plus 12. And that would be our final answer. All right. So when we are adding or subtracting polynomials, all we do is we have to distribute whatever is in front of the parentheses first, and then combine any like terms that we end up with. So if it's addition, we can just drop the parentheses. If it's subtraction, we have to make sure we multiply everything in that second set of parentheses by a negative. All right, y'all. Have a great day.